representatives from the Sheriff's Office. I believe the Sheriff himself is here. We also have representatives from MHMR and JPS.
Okay.
So I believe the Sheriff was wanting to speak first with regards to the items.
Good morning.
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 We've been requested to give some briefing items. I want to clarify on two, one hospital death and one jail death that were both in custody, and we had a list of laundry items that is requested. Several things, of course, of active investigations that we cannot speak on. So I'm going to kind of give a 30,000-foot view of some of the things that happened. The last one was requested on inmate Yancey, and I can give you some of the public information that started.
Before we do that, is there any issue, Mr. Cradaville, with him discussing basically what amounts to A and B at the same time?
No, I don't see a real issue with that, Judge.
It's a briefing item, there's no vote? Okay.
So long as the commenters are given.
Okay, so what we'll probably do when we take public comments is just combine A and B. So if you signed up for A, I'm going to call you, and B, both at the same time.
Very good. Anyway, I'm sorry. Here's the public information on the first inmate. He was arrested by Grapevine Police Department, according to the affidavit.
And this is which one, Yancey or Ramsey?
Yancey. And they received a call to a smoke shop in Grapevine, and he was said to be stumbling around the parking lot when officers arrived. They found him slumped in his vehicle. They knocked on the window. He woke up and was trying to drive off when they got him stopped again and got him out of the vehicle. He was very disorientated and obviously intoxicated. He was complaining after his arrest of some medical issues, and he was transported to Baylor Hospital, where he was seen and cleared and then sent to the Grapevine jail. He then came to the Tarrant County Jail on the 24th of December. His profile, and I'm going to be very careful with this, is as his profile fit 80% of our inmates. His profile fit that he had underlying chronic health issues, and he also had an addiction of drugs. And he had been involved over the years since he was a kid, of several arrests for narcotics and that kind of thing. The particular drug that he was arrested for this time was ketamine. And ketamine is often used by anesthesiologists. It's used in the private market, but however, there is obviously illegal ketamine being sold out on the street. Anyway, highly addictive, often looks like opioids, but isn't, but looks there. So he was placed as a high priority inmate, meaning that medical services could get to him. He was in our custody for a total of 4 days. He was seen by medical on 9 occasions. And on the occasion that he went out on us, or that we called to Dr. Hart, the fall was witnessed by he was in a cell seeing 2 nurses when he collapsed. And life-saving stuff was taking place immediately, within very few seconds. And it was worked hard by not only JPS, but also our staff. And the Fort Worth Fire Department arrived and assisted, along with MedStar. So we had a lot of medical hands on him. And life-saving measures was taken for over 40 minutes before a doctor declared him gone. That's the overview. There's a lot of details that are still going on. The investigation continues. The independent investigation by the medical examiners occurring as we speak. I don't expect results back from that for months, to be quite honest. And then this case will also be reviewed by the Fort Worth Police Department. I don't see that conclusion until late summer, to be quite honest with you. So it will not be in finality. I think the takeaway is that all protocols were followed by Tarrant County Sheriff's Office personnel. I believe they were followed by all the medical personnel, Fort Worth PD. Everybody followed the law, and followed what normal protocols are in these circumstances. It's very unfortunate that he passed, but when he did, he got the best health care we could deliver at the moment, and our people were involved heavily in it. In regards to Ramsey, who was in jail, had been in jail with us since September of last year. He was facing about $1.4 million bond. He was there on 6 counts of sexual assault of children, or aggravated assault of children. He had 7 outcries, according to the reports and affidavits. And there.
What is it? What is an outcry?
Outcry of the victim.
Oh.
That he assaulted them. And he was no previous. I didn't have in my briefings any medical issues, and but however, on the day in question, we had several witnesses. He was sitting down and he fell, and was very disorientated, didn't know where he was trying to get him to the hospital. When he, if you pardon the term, he crashed, and life-saving events took on, and then he passed away in the hospital with medical attention. That's the 30,000. Both of these are still under investigation. You know, investigations take twists and turns, so we don't know until we get all the information back if something else happened. But according to everything that we have seen, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office followed all state guidelines and our guidelines, which is better or higher than the state. And in both of these cases, correction officers in particular advocated for those prisoners, both requesting medical, and also they advocated for them by doing CPR and the other things that needed to be done at the scene, which we always do. Is that it wasn't that long ago that State Jail Commission visited and gave us a no-notice inspection. We passed with flying colors when they reviewed all this, and of course the Department of Justice was in, and in fact applauded particular JPS and the system that we have. So I think that we've done everything that we could do, and our people perform magnificently. And unfortunately, you know, as I tell people all the time, you know, in these 80% that we talk about that have narcotics problems, is that it's very difficult on the body. And in that hidden city we call the jail, is yet our rate of death is still markedly lower than the free world. And I think that says a lot for what's going on there. And I do want to finalize what I have to say by saying that both JPS and MHMR here, they're incredible teams. And we collaborate all the time together. We visit with each other about what we could do better, and we find ways to do better and deliver the care and the services that they have. And I think that's what the DOJ saw when they were here. That's what other people have seen when they're here, that it is a model to pursue. And we continue to do that. We have over 200 JPS people on staff in the hospital 24/7, and our medical responses are less than 5 minutes to when people ask for medicine or they have a medical issue. And we have it now that our inmates are issued a tablet that they don't have to go through the correction officer. They can send a direct message to JPS that they need to be seen. And of course, during classification systems and stuff like that, we sort out different folks that need high priority. And we put that on them, meaning that they go to the front of the line as far as medical services or MHMR services. So that's what they do. I think I covered the gamut there as best I could. Still a lot of things going on behind the scenes.
So one question about Mr. Yancey. There have been reports, and I don't know if I'd call them reports, a report that I've seen, but multiple people with sending emails that Mr. Yancey was denied medication. Do you have any knowledge or information on that?
There's no evidence of that. In fact, he was delivered medicine on numerous occasions while in custody over those 4 days.
And when medicine is delivered, that's recorded.
Yeah, it's all noted.
And that's been checked, and whenever he was supposed to get medicine, he got medicine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Sheriff, that you want to add?
No, sir. I spoke probably too much.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Sheriff. I have a couple questions. I'm not sure if they're for you or JPS. I think the first ones might be for you. At what time, and I think I sent this over, I had Chandler send it over. What time approximately did the detention officers notice a medical emergency? And then how long before JPS was notified? And what's that process? So
Well,
if you,
is the pod officers have the ability to immediately request medical via radio. And our response time in the jail generally is around 2 minutes
okay.
that they arrive. And as I said in the Yancey case, is he was talking to 2 RNs, standing up and talking to him when he collapsed. They were right there.
Okay. So the accounts that I have received from friends and other inmates that he was in distress for hours and hours and hours, and the other inmates were allegedly asking for help to say he's struggling. I was told that it took a while for detention officers to pay attention to him and notify JPS. So that's why I was asking, approximately what time did your detention officers discover him, and then discover he was in distress, and then how long had he been in distress that you knew of?
I'm going to make JPS very nervous here, and I don't mean to, because we cannot talk about some of these procedures that go on. But what I would say is that I have seen absolutely no evidence, and I've poured over everything in these things, of what you just said. What my evidence is that he received medical on a regular basis. He was seen 9 times in 4 days. And the officers, when they check on folks, they're checking on folks.
And that's recorded, right?
Yes.
When they check on folks.
Yeah, it's absolutely recorded, and it's part of the investigation. And if we fail to check on them, that's a violation of jail standards.
And so I have that same question for Mr. Ramsey. Do we know about what time was his incident at 10, and medical didn't get to him until?
No, ma'am. He was sitting in the middle of the pod in front of the officer. He fell. The officer rushed to him, said, "Are you okay?" I'm giving you more information than I should, but these rumors are just incredible. Is that he said, I don't know where I'm at, and immediately within 2 minutes, I believe it was, just a couple of minutes, he's talking to a medical authority. They're taking him out. They're going. Everything's happening very quickly at that point. It was a witness fall by 3 people, including 2 correction officers, right there.
Okay, and at some point, all of this will be in a report.
Yes, ma'am.
That will one day become public. And so I think the rest of my questions are going to be for JPS. And I just want to say that at some point, if we can hold the sheriff accountable, but we've got to hold JPS, MHMR, and this commissioner's court accountable. This full court is going to need to decide to take seriously the high number of deaths occurring in this jail. We finished out 2024 with 9 deaths, and our jail population is what, 4,500?
4,100.
4,100. And Harris County finished out 2024 with 10 deaths. Their jail population exceeds 10,000. Okay, so there is enough blame to be shared amongst us, medical, behavioral, confinement. I am going to attempt to be optimistic that with these new court members and a new jail chief, And with all of y'all's continued efforts to come down here, put pressure on us to stop these deaths, I'm going to be optimistic that we will see some progress, some changes. And in order to not just complain, I've talked to other commissioners, other sheriffs, that's what you go to conferences for, that's what you build relationships for. And so there is definitely room for a wide spectrum of solutions starting at the front end. And some of those include policies not to book people if they are in medical and mental health crisis. Emergency detention, to crisis stabilization units instead of booking them. Counsel at first appearance, PR bonds for pregnant people and elderly folks, actual continuity of care, CCQ checks, not placing people with IDD on forensic wait list. I am not out to get anyone except the people that seem to be freaking okay with these numbers. We can't ignore almost 70 deaths. And we owe it to taxpayers to bring transparency. These things cost us. These deaths cost us. They cost you, your taxpayer dollars. We've got to reduce the cost. We've got to reduce the loss of lives. And to the Yancey family and to the Ramsey family, I've spoken with the Yancey family, and representatives are here today from that family. I offer my condolences, and I pledge that if I have to single-handedly do it, I'm going to continue to attempt to get to the bottom of this. And I hope this county staff and I hope these commissioners will see the issue. And there are several. I have some questions for JPS.
Anything you'd like to say, Sheriff?
Well, is the realistic thought of nobody dying while in custody is absolutely absurd. And, these people, we have people right now that have DNRs on them in the hospital that are dying from some disease, but they're in custody because they killed people or they raped somebody. And nobody wants them out of custody because they're a threat to safety of the country or the county. So there's got to be some reasonableness thoughts on how do we stop natural deaths. Somebody drops dead of a heart attack, happens all the time. I mean, we just celebrated Bill Hanna, God rest his soul. But there are other people of all ages that this happens to in the free world all the time. But once they come into custody, we can't give them an immortal pill.
I do not expect 0 deaths in the jail. But I've got to redact some information here. This was forwarded to me on January 2nd. I just saw it last night. My name is Crystal Duffy, and I am concerned about my son's safety. His name is Kristen Harrison, and he is located at Tarrant County Jail. He called yesterday to let me know that officer, I'm not going to say that name, is continuing to threaten him. The officer threatened to kill him, told him, F your mother. He told my son he would die in jail. This is the second time I've written a complaint about this officer. I'm afraid for my son because of the terrible things I've seen and heard on TV about Tarrant County Jail. So can someone please check into why this officer, who is supposed to be protecting instead of threatening, is doing this, and can someone get in touch with me? She is a constituent of mine and reached out to me. She lives in Arlington. So
she's claimed she's filed complaints.
that's what I'll share with you, so you can have the name and the phone number and all that stuff. So I have to ask the questions. I have to be concerned about this.
And I would very much say you get those, forward them to us. We get those all the time, and we always, 100% of the time, run them down to see what's happening. And about 99.9% of the time, it's not true. But we're happy to continue doing that. We don't sit back and let it go. We chase them down. But if we don't have it or we don't know about it, we can't.
All right, any other questions for the sheriff? All right, thanks, Sheriff. Then we have, do you have a presentation, or are you here to answer questions?
Review of how we deliver medical care in the county jail. Unfortunately, as you're probably aware, I will not be able to provide any patient-specific information beyond what the sheriff has shared in his briefing. JPS has medical providers along with nursing staff available 24 hours per day in the jail to address urgent and chronic medical needs for inmates. Additionally, all inmates are screened during the jail intake process. As part of the medical intake, inmates are asked questions to provide their medical condition, or questioned and asked to provide answers and information regarding their medical conditions and a list of the medications they take on a routine basis. This can be challenging for our nurses during medical intake because sometimes the inmates do not know or they do not want to tell us. When behavioral health needs are identified during intake, including when an inmate reports that they routinely take psychotropic medications, we immediately refer those inmates to MHMR, which handles the behavioral health needs at the jail. We provide primarily outpatient care, much like a clinic. We do not operate a hospital in the jail. Our services include primary care for those inmates that need medical care, but not all inmates receive ongoing or continuous medical care. If the care is needed, we follow that inmate during the time of incarceration, and inmates are entitled to refuse care or to be seen by the medical staff. Inmates are also entitled to refuse their medications. They have the same rights as other patients when it comes to their care and treatment in the jail. We do provide other limited outpatient services beyond primary care. If a patient has an ongoing or urgent need beyond what we're able to provide in the jail, that individual is transported to JPS Hospital for further care and treatment. We also have access to a dedicated pharmacy in the jail that is available 24 hours per day. Regarding protocols, any inmate is allowed to request care from medical. They can do so via the computer tablets that the sheriff was referencing, or they can tell the correctional officer in their pod that they need to see or want to see medical. At which point we do respond to those requests. The requests are triaged by RNs daily based on their level of urgency and what the inmate has requested. We have clinics in all of the jails to see patients. We also respond to calls for medical assistance in the jail. You may wait a second.
Yeah, we're going to take a recess now. We'll be back in 5 minutes. I would advise everyone to stay in this room momentarily until that situation is dealt with.
C credentials. Read the fucking law, Chief.
You want to go to jail for disorderly conduct?
Why, for saying fuck?
Quiet down.
For saying fuck?
In a public
That's a
place?
what? You seriously wouldn't take a First Amendment attorney to jail for saying fuck?
If you disrupt in front of the...
No, you are violating my rights by not letting me go back in here.
You're not going in again.
Under what law?
You're not a Texas peace officer.
I don't have to be a Texas peace
You're
officer.
not an honorary retired peace officer.
Qualified
You're
DOD law enforcement officer
You're an analyst.
right there.
You were CID.
I was counterintelligence. I was not an analyst. I was a counterintelligence special agent. What the fuck is this?
He went over this on the internet. You generate your own badge, that's fine. TJ's right.
11666 is my badge number. T-Cole doesn't get to decide what federal agent. No, they do not, because I don't have to fall under T-Cole licensing.
Just want to know how to go with it. Fall under Tarrant County, do the same thing too? Tarrant County, the same thing?
So is this fraud? Is this a fake license? No, don't shush me. Is this a fake license?
Why didn't you carry your gun into the courthouse?
I did.
No, you weren't. You were
Yes.
lock it up.
No. I carried it into the courthouse until your people changed the rules.
So why didn't you carry it in? Why didn't you go past us?
Because I made an agreement with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't do that agreement anymore then.
Okay.
I carry in every
And you'll
courthouse in the
face the
state.
consequences. You'll face the consequences.
And you will too when I sue your ass because you know exactly what the fucking law is, and it doesn't say T-Cole. It says 926C, 18 USC 1926C.
Right here.
You don't have to debate. You just gotta violate. You just gotta protect my right. Excuse me.
Don't touch him.
Don't fucking touch me.
Don't start doing that shit.
Excuse me.
Back the fuck up.
Don't tell me to relax when you're assaulting.
Get your fucking hands
You're
off me,
assaulting. Don't tell me to relax.
Man, get your hands off me, man! Stop fucking touching me! You bumping into me!
And I will sue everyone.
What's your name?
Don't tell me
What was your name?
touching me.
Since you want to you bumped into me. I didn't touch you or touch anybody else. You bumped into me.
As soon as you get my stuff out of there, I'll leave. And I want everyone's name and badge number, Chief. Where you at? Everyone that's right here, I want everyone's name and badge number. Don't fucking touch me either. Your guys are.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care, bro. Who's offended? Who's offended? You can't be. Civilians. I'll look for one. For what? Who's offended? Oh shit! Come on, man! What the fuck are y'all doing?
Wait, resisting!
I'm not, asshole! I'm not! What, who's offended? Who's offended? Y'all can't be offended by what I just said!
Is somebody being arrested for free speech here?
Yeah, man! Y'all fucking assaulting me, motherfuckers! What's your name? Man, hey, go get my shit, CJ! What's your name? Hey, go get all my stuff! Get this dude off of me!
Is it loaded? Right.
Orozco!
You lost your qualified immunity. He's saying they're slamming him into the
They're
wall.
using for UCW, even though I have a license that I can carry.
Pay for this, I promise.
Excuse me, I'm not even tensing up.
Disorderly conduct means someone.
Don't sit here and try and play it for the camera like I'm tensing up. I'm going legally. You're telling me to relax while you're falsely arresting me? Have you read 4615?
This is a shit show.
I've got my law enforcement credentials in my pocket, Sheriff. Don't do this. Sheriff, in my back pocket. I just showed it to the chief. Look and check it right now and get me out of these cuffs. And then read Penal Code 4615. You can't even arrest me for unlawful carry because it doesn't apply to me. 4615 is non-applicability. It's in my left back pocket.
Tarrant County had to learn the hard way. Your cousin, yeah, Tarrant County had to learn the hard way. I saw the video.
No, I can get it to you here.
You can carry anywhere in the United
No. We're going to do this publicly.
Let's go. You can't take him back there.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
No, sir.
We're not walking. Do not touch me.
No, sir.
Do not touch me. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number?
Just following orders is not an excuse.
Keep it, guys.
Do your homework.
Just following orders is not about excuse, sir. You need to go.
What's your name and badge number?